Welcome back. When the price of petrol goes up, inevitably, so does the cost of your commute. And the brunt is always borne by those who rely on public transport. But Union Santaco says it will try its best to balance profit against public service when it comes to fare increases this year. Santaco says it will take into account consideration the tough economic times that many South Africans find themselves in. Taxi industry leaders are set to meet for an annual review in June when they will consider fee hikes. Joining us now on the midday view via Zoom is Santaco spokesperson Thabisho Molelekwa. Thabisho, good afternoon. Welcome to the midday view on ENCA. The recent petrol price increase that we saw, which was a record one earlier this week, has led to questions whether or not the taxi industry will be hiking fares anytime soon. Are you finding this pressure from your members to do so right now?
Good afternoon, Braden, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yes, indeed, Braden, there is pressure from members that, in fact, we need to move the annual review date to an earlier date. But obviously, we have allowed the formal processes to, unfold. But for now, the annual review will only be done in June, because indeed the industry is experiencing huge amount of pressure as a result of a number of other factors, and of course the recent one being the petrol price hike.
Yes, and of course the lockdowns of last year and the lack of economic activity have played a big part and have affected you as well, like any other industry. How well are you as Santaco managing that pressure? Do you think you're going to succumb to it?
We don't have the luxury to succumb to pressure, but then given that the industry, moves about 16 million passengers, commuters rather, on a day-to-day basis. But also, be that as may, it would be a mistake to, think that the industry has really recovered from the impact of lockdown since last year. We are still reeling from that. You would remember that the first 81 days of hard lockdown, the industry lost about 70 million rands a day. So these are monies that we will not be able to recover. As the regulations are being relaxed and so on, it does not necessarily mean that all is well and good for the industry, or the industry is now able to make money. A number of issues that obviously still affect our operations. Our long-distance operators, as we speak, are still loading at 70%. Just this current Easter, the numbers of long-distance travelers were not as much as expected. So there's also been another loss of revenue in that regard. So there is huge pressure to really look into the taxi fare increase to ensure that our operators stay afloat and they are able to meet their monthly obligations. As you would know, that most of them are still in arrangements with their different financiers.
Now, Thabisho, if you had to implement fare increases, at what level are you looking at, or could they be? I mean, inflation is sitting around 3%, between 3 and 4%.
Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, the approach that we have taken since last year, we have what we have done. We have allowed provinces to look into the dynamics as they would affect them province by province, and then begin to be the ones that recommend the percentages of increase given their challenges in those respective provinces. And this is why it was for the first time that it happened last year that Mpumalanga province, Western Cape, and a very large percentage of Free State did not increase fares last year because of they had their own engagements with their commuters in those provinces. So we would allow the same to prevail, but definitely the taxi fare increase is imminent come the month of June.
So until June, commuters can breathe a sigh of relief that the fares will stay the way they are across the country for members of Santaco.
Of course, Braden, and I must indicate we do know the hardships that our commuters are facing, given that most of them, some have lost jobs, some have their salaries cut and so on. And this is why we are now engaging robustly with government also to expedite the whole issue around subsidy to find really ways in which, even in the future, when petrol price hikes in such an unprecedented manner, there are elements of the subsidy that can be able to cushion this pressure.
And how are those discussions with government going regarding a subsidy for the taxi industry?
They are positive. The process is slow given the unique nature of the industry, but we are confident that at the ultimate end, we will emerge victorious for the benefit of the commuter.
Thank you very much. Thabisho Molelekwa, speaking on behalf of Taxi Association there, Santaco.